Hey guys, and welcome back to another video with your two favorite book nerds, Amy
and Kelly.
Today we are talking all about book club
2023.
Yep, book club 2023 and book club 2024.
Yes.
Too.
Yes.
Because we have a special announcement that we're going to share with you guys here at the end of the video. But we're kicking off this one talking about our 2023 picks.
Yes.
Yeah.
How it went, what we thought.
Yeah.
The highs, the lows, and everything in between.
Okay, so let's rank.
Let's start at the bottom.
Alright, worst book club book pick in 2023. Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. This book just bored me. It bored me. I didn't want to read it, and I was just so mad. It's a small book, right? And it took me like a month to read. I just remember sitting there just like, oh my gosh, I hate this book. Why am I reading this? Kelly, why'd you make me read this? And that was like, it was punishment for all of the things I've made you read.
Well, it's
that,
a start.
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly, I don't remember. I feel like I just put this book out of my memory because I don't even remember why I hated it. I just remember feeling that I just hated it. And I just was bored, and I just was like, oh my god, is it ever gonna end? So, yeah, that's my bottom pick.
All right, fair enough. So my bottom pick was The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. First of all, it really wasn't what I was expecting. It wasn't what it was billed as. So there was that, but I mean, whatever, everything's going to be that way. But the storyline was confusing. There was a time travel aspect that didn't make sense. Well, not really time travel, but a time, like, it tried to explain that some people were living in different timelines, and it just never came together. And there were things that happened with people who were supposed to be living in a different timeline that should have happened differently had they actually been living in a different timeline, and it didn't happen. It was just illogical. And the mystery itself was dull. I mean, this was a pretty good chunk of a book, and it was just dull. So, no, like, that was my bottom one. Still gave it a 3. I don't remember why I gave it a 3, but I did. I may have to go back and watch our book club discussion to find out just exactly what it was I liked about that book, because I don't remember what it was.
Alright, 11. Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. Obviously, for all of these books, you can go and watch our discussions for them to get more in-depth, but this one was another one that I was just bored, and I'm not a fan of Kristen Hanna and her books, and there were a lot of things in it that I just didn't like. I thought there were a lot of things she could have done better, and I wanted more, which is sad to say that I wanted more from a 450-page book.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
No thanks.
Okay, my number 11, In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. Because it was dumb. And the whole mystery was dumb. And it was clumsy. The way, I mean, it's, you know, about these friends that come back to a college reunion and one of them's a killer. And it just went way too far trying to make you believe who it was and who it wasn't. And the ending was just silly. Again, though, I gave it a 3. I think I have to revise why and how I'm rating books the way I'm rating them. I don't know.
Number 10.
Number 10.
The Sentence.
No taste. No taste at all.
I hated the main character of this book. Didn't like her at all. I also was, again, bored with this one. It didn't hit me at all. I feel like I was confused and lost. I don't know.
So my number 10 was The Four Winds. And I think for the same reasons that Amy said, these like family drama in turbulent times kind of books are just not for me. And again, we just had a big discussion about that. You can go back and listen to that for details. But what I didn't like, I really didn't like. What I did like, I really did like. I think it was really good depiction of living through the Depression, but the family drama stuff, number 9.
Number 9. Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. my love-hate relationship with Grady continues. So this book, I want to talk about something that wasn't what it was billed to be. I personally don't think that this one was, it wasn't what I was expecting, it wasn't what I wanted from the book either. I was really hoping for a campy, Southernism-filled book, and I didn't get that. I didn't like the vampire in the book. I didn't like how the whole book club slaying, like the whole book club and the vampire, I didn't like how it was set up at all. And this is probably one of my, well, aside from my best friend's Exorcism, one of lower rated Grady Hendrix books for me. It just wasn't what I wanted. It disappointed me.
There you go.
It was disappointing.
There you go. Well, my number 9 was
I tried to catch it.
Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. It's a good book, but I think for me it suffered because of comparison with The Martian. It was not as funny. It was way too science heavy. I think he did a much better job of trimming things and being more concise about things in The Martian. And in the end, there was the things with the aliens that just didn't really work out. Not the very end. The very end I thought was cool. But when he first met the alien.
Yeah.
You know. So this character just didn't ring true for me. But the whole concept of saving the world and the what was going on that was threatening the world, that all was really neat. The fact that, you know, he started out as part of this team and ended up by himself. I mean, that was all pretty good. I thought it was just kind of a hit and miss for me.
Number 8.
Wow, you really put that one up there.
I enjoyed this book, kind of. I do agree with you in the whole... It was confusing. This book was confusing because it wasn't well explained why things were happening and like how things were happening and all of that. And it wasn't the mystery book that I thought it was going to be at all. The villain or the mystery, whatever, you could solve it before the end, kind of. I mean, sort of. It was very confusing, and like it just kind of was like, oh, here it is. A simple explanation for.
And here it is.
Yeah, that's gonna be my number 8 pick.
Well, my number 8 was...
Man, you really put that up there.
I did. Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I agree. It was not what I was expecting. It was not what I wanted. But this book made me so uncomfortable the entire time I was reading it that I think that's what it was meant to do. It did what it was meant to do. And I mean, obviously the portrayals of the society and stuff were overdone. They were dramatized and whatever, but I don't think it was entirely inaccurate.
No.
And the things that did happen, some of the horror elements really were creepy to me, like the whole rat infestation, you know, so I think it did what it meant to do once I got past that it wasn't what I wanted it to be. So I did think that those aspects were pretty good.
All right, number 7, In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. I like this one, but mainly just because I did not figure out who the killer was until I'm sorry. Okay,
I know, it's fine.
It was a bit of a mess of a book, but
your standards are your standards.
I couldn't figure out who the killer was. Normally, mystery thrillers, I am fairly good. Hey, Georgie.
Hi, George. Come here. Okay.
Cats. But I'm normally pretty good at figuring out who the killer is or whatever the twist is, and this was one that it stumped me. I had it narrowed down to someone, but I could not for the life of me pick who it was going to be, so for that reason I ranked it a little bit higher, just because that. And I mean, it wasn't terrible. Like, I did kind of enjoy it.
Okay, so my number, what are we on, 7? My number 7 was Their Eyes Were Watching God. I did enjoy this. I enjoyed the depiction of the times, which was 1920s. I think kind of looking at African American people creating their own town in Florida, and you know how the main character became a prominent part of that, and then talking about like they were migrant farm workers too, and just the different, you know, societal things going on at that time and how they had to respond to those things, and just the depiction of the culture, which I think was interesting too, at the time. And so I really did like this book and following the main character through her life and things like that. I did rate it a 5, but what's funny is that it's farther down on my list. Like I have some books I rated as 4s that are higher up on my list, but it's because the writing I felt was really good, and also I gave it extra points because of the subject matter and the importance of it to the literary canon. It got a little bump from me for that, but I did really enjoy the book.
All right, number 6. How High We Go in the Dark. This one had a lot of it's kind of like not an anthology. I mean, it's kind of an anthology, but everything kind of goes together,
interconnected.
Yeah. All of the stories were very like emotional stories. Like they were kind of depressing, hard to read at times, especially dealing with like pandemic and sickness, all of that. There was a lot of stuff that you could kind of relate to that. The reason why it's not higher for me is just because there were only a few stories in here that really got to me, and it wasn't like the whole book, but it was still overall, I thought it was done really well. And like I said, it was one that is going to make you feel something at some point for sure. So.
Yeah. Okay, so my number 6 was Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. I loved this book, honestly. Eleanor was such a good character, and following her through, and it's kind of like just when you thought you had a handle on who she was and stuff, and then the end hit you, and that end part, like the end quarter, oh my gosh, it just, wow. It was so well done. It really was. This is another one, though. I rated a 5, but it's lower down on my list because I can't say that I enjoyed it as well as I enjoyed some of the other books. I think it was really well done. I think it's a really good book. It's one of those books designed it makes you uncomfortable. And so for pure enjoyment purposes, I liked it a little less than some others, but she's a great character though.
Number 5. Project Hail Mary was my number 5. I was also disappointed by this one because I didn't think that it lived up to The Martian either, but I still enjoyed it. I thought Rocky was a good supporting character. Their interactions were pretty funny. Well, some of their interactions. There was definitely a lot of like kind of, the same thing over and over, and we can cut like half of this book and it would be better and stuff like that. But I really like Andy Weir and his writing, and so even though there was a lot that I thought you could cut out, it's still pretty enjoyable for me, and I did really. The ending of the book, almost towards the end, like I was like, it got to me, man. Like just all of that, it was good. It was good. So yeah, and I also enjoyed kind of like the beginning where he's waking up and trying to figure everything out, and he's like, oh my gosh, I'm the last one, and I'm feeling a ship full of dead people. Like, you know, it was good. So I gave it my 5th place.
Okay, so my 5th place was Book Lovers by Emily Henry. It's really good. I mean, honestly, it is. But I can't point to anything wrong with this, except I think my main complaint was the sisters. There's sisters in here. Their relationship. I did not like their relationship.
That's fair.
But I think in the end, compared to some of the other books, romance is just not my genre. And it's a very, very good romance book. I enjoyed it a lot, but it's just the fact that it's a romance, and I'm never going to like it as much as I like some other things. So that's why it's number 5, but it was number 5.
Number 4, The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. The second half of this book, chef's kiss. And the Elkhead woman, all of that was done so well. It was terrifying, it was creepy, and I loved it. The first half, I was confused and I hated it. So, yeah, if the whole book was what the second half was, it would have been a 5-star easy for me. But that first half, I just can't. I can't get past that. So, 4th place here.
Okay, so my number 4 was The Sentence. I really liked it, obviously. I liked the ghost story aspect. I liked the fact that there was more than one, quote, ghost story, that there was a lot of different kinds of ghosts in this. I liked the main character. I liked Sookie. And I just really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed all of the supporting characters too. I do wish that the bookstore ghost story had been a little bit different. I don't think that quite lived up to a true ghost story. But, well, I mean, I can't really say that. You should try to possess her. But I think maybe it wasn't enough of it in the book. So I wish that had been a bigger part of the book. But
yeah.
But I really did like it. Again, with, being able to read about another culture and their heritage and the history and things like that. I really enjoyed it.
Honestly, I completely forgot that there was even a ghost story in that book.
Really?
Yep. Because there wasn't enough of it.
There really wasn't. It
wasn't done well, I didn't think. That was what initially I was excited for. I'm like, oh, it's a ghost story about a bookstore, a haunted bookstore. And that was not much of the book.
It was, but
it wasn't enough.
Not enough of it. You're right. But again, and with the book being called The Sentence, it was also about different kinds of sentences, and I enjoyed it.
Number 3.
Top 3.
The top 3. Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine, and I stand by everything that Kelly said about this book. I loved Eleanor. I thought her character was written really, really well. There were so many relatable moments to her throughout the book, and just her thought. It was realistic. Mm-hmm. It was so realistic, everything that she said. Unlike with The Midnight Library, it was just there was follow through. It was realistic. It was relatable. It was so well done. So well done. Eleanor's character was really well done, and I loved her so much. So definitely highly recommend this book.
Okay, my number 3, How High We Go in the Dark. I just love this book. I really did. It was dark and it was uncomfortable, and I mean, it is a little odd to say I loved it because it doesn't feel like something you should love.
Right.
But it was so well written, and how the different stories all intermingled together, and in some ways not just because they were about the same world or the same event. I mean, there were ways that they intermingled together in ways that you really didn't quite expect to see happen. But I just think the imagination of how humanity would deal with a pandemic that killed, it was 90% of the population or something like that. I mean, huge amounts. And what kind of industries would arise out of that? How would we deal with things like that? And I think it was really a big social commentary on humanity and our societies. I just love that book. And the pig.
Oh, yeah, the pig.
The pig. Oy. Okay, sorry.
It's remembering that all over again. It hurts my heart.
God, the pig.
Number 2.
No
one's surprised to see Emily Henry in my top 3, of course. Book lovers, I love Emily Henry. I loved Nora Stevens. Her character in this book is just, what they call her, the shark or something like that. And she was just so against love and all of this stuff at the beginning. I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, I feel you. And I just loved her and Charlie's semi-enemies to lovers little arc. I thought it was done well. I loved their chemistry together, and I think it was just such a fun cute little read.
It was.
Yeah. I love Emily Henry so much.
Okay, my number 2 was The Only Good Indians. I was not confused through the first half, so yeah.
She's just smarter than me.
I just wasn't confused. So I didn't like it. I mean, I did like it, especially the very beginning, which was really good. And of course, the horror, it did what it meant to do. Oh my gosh, it really did. I liked, again, the cultural aspect, the heritage, how they talked about their different traditions. That was all really good, really well done. And this is, again, interesting that I rated it 4 stars, but it's my number 2 book. But really, I only dropped it a star because there was a part in there that I felt like really dragged. And I think the ending could have been a little more...
Yeah.
It didn't quite... While it was horrific, and while I really felt it, on some level it was like, that doesn't really quite make sense.
Yeah.
But still, I really enjoyed this book a lot, which I never thought I'd say about a horror story, but man, that was good stuff.
Good.
Number 1!
I have a feeling we both have the same number 1.
I have a feeling we agree!
Gods of Jade and Shadow.
Gods of Jade and Shadow.
Sylvia Moreno Garcia.
Man.
Yes.
This was so good.
It was so good.
I mean, on
every level. I really
Yeah.
don't have too many complaints about it. Or I can't think of any complaints off the top of my head.
I didn't have any.
I know I rated it 4 stars, but I can't remember why at this moment. It was so well done.
It really was. And it was the folklore and the heritage again. I guess I'm apparently a sucker for stories that are in different cultures than mine. It was just so good. So good. But yeah, the folklore in it, well, folklore coming to life. I mean, that fantastical element, of course, I'm going to love. But their travel story, the romance in this was
so
just
cute.
It was so lightly touched on, but really hit you.
Yeah.
Deep. I mean,
like, that's how you write romance, because it was like, it wasn't even a main focus of the book.
No.
It was kind of just, it just kind of happened, and it wasn't in your face about it, but man, when things hit the fan, it was like, oh, my heart is being ripped out of my chest right now.
I tell you.
It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So
and
well
her
done.
writing. She is so good.
Yeah.
At
she can
descriptions.
paint a scene like none other.
And put you in a place that, I mean, obviously, it's set in like the Yucatan kind of Mexico part, most of it. But setting you in a scene, in a place that you've never been before, but makes you feel like you know it. Like you've been there. That was good. The whole end when they went up to California and that hotel. Oh,
It was so good.
I think my only complaint about this, which was not enough to drop it a star, was, is this supposed to be set in the 20s?
Mm-hmm.
And I really never got a good, like, roaring 20s feel.
Yeah, not entirely.
I mean, all the components were there, but it just didn't kind of feel like it. But anyway, it didn't matter. It wasn't enough to drop any sort of stars for me at all. But it was really good. Love this book. Still love this book.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe need to reread this book.
Yeah.
Well, hi, Georges.
What do you have to say, Georgie?
But the
Looking here.
yeah, love it. Loved it. Oh, there he is. Hello, George. Whoa.
Oh.
There you made an appearance on camera. Yeah, stick your butt in there. Turn around, let him see your pretty face. Because he's such a pretty boy.
Oh, yeah, Georgie.
Oh my gosh, he just farted. Okay, down with you. My God, George. Whew. Wow.
All right, so I'm curious, how many of your picks did you have in your top 6?
This was number 1. This was number 3. And number 4. So half of my top 6 were my picks.
I think this was my number 2.
I
think I picked this one too.
You did. Mm-hmm.
My number 3. Number 4. I think I had 3 in my top 6 as well that I picked. So I'd say we did pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just curious. I'm like, I wonder how we did for picking books.
Well, apparently we did well, because even though we were very, very different on our order, still in both of our top picks, half were your own and half were mine. Same for me.
Yeah.
So
Look at us
worked
go.
out well. I bet you, though, you didn't think you were going to like this one as much as you did. I knew it.
Nope, I sure did not. Honestly, I expected this one or this one would have been my top. My number 1 pick.
Yeah.
That was 2023.
Yes.
Our book club 2023. So let's talk book club 2024.
Yeah.
We have an announcement.
Mm-hmm.
We picked our books for the first quarter.
A little different.
That we want to be able to kind of like pick our books as we go along and not pick them all right at the beginning, because that would have definitely changed my picks last year had we been doing it that way. Would not have picked The Four Winds as a book club book had we been kind of picking as we go along. So this year we're going to try it out, do our first 3 months at a time and see how that goes. So I'm kicking us off in January. Book I'm so excited about. Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Raybourn.
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to read this book.
Yeah,
So.
well, Kelly's the one that actually told me about this book, and as soon as she told me that it was like 60-year-old assassin ladies, I was in. It sounds like it's going to be such a fun read and have elements in it that I wish had been in this book. I think it's going to be good.
Some sass.
Yeah, I need some sass, some old lady sass.
Some mature lady sass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I hope so.
Yeah, I think it should be good. So, we'll see. That's January.
February's mine. And, well, since I just got done talking about how, romance isn't and never will be my favorite, but it's February. What else are you going to read, right?
Right.
So I picked one that fit the romance qualifications, but also I think will fit us better. And it is The Dead Romantics, which I believe is about a ghostwriter. I think she's a ghostwriter who is feuding with her editor or publisher, one of the two. And she sees him in an unexpected place and finds out that he died. And he's haunting her. So I think that's, like I said, I think it'll tick enough boxes for us to enjoy a romance for February.
I hope so.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. March. It was a toss-up between 2 books by 2 of our favorite authors. Or at least,
a
top
new
authors.
favorite and an old favorite.
We went with this one.
But we'll probably get to the other one later.
Yeah, we'll read both of them. So, but for March, The Twisted Ones by T. Kingfisher. This is a book about a girl who goes to go clean out her grandfather's house after he passes away, and she finds some secrets that he probably didn't want her to uncover, and learns that the things that go bump in the night might just actually be real and they're out to get her. So I think it's gonna be a really fun little horror.
It's a fun little.
Yeah, can't go wrong with T. Kingfisher.
No.
No. So yeah, that's our picks. We got January, February, and March. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I think these will be good.
I think so too.
So, yay. All right, so here you go, people. These are the books to read. Follow along and then join us on our live discussions on the first Sunday of every month.
Yes. That's gonna do it for our video today. If you enjoyed watching the video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, going down below the video, hit that little red subscribe button and join the Everyday Adventure family so you can see our beautiful faces every Sunday with new book videos. Also, for even more content, be sure to go and join channel memberships, where you'll get access to all of the videos, well, except for the book videos, a whole day early, and also just extra members only videos. And if you still want even more bookish content from us, go and follow our new Instagram and our new TikTok. Yes, look at us.
Yay!
Go. So yeah, go and find us there. Everyday Epic Book Club. Link down in the description.
Okay. And while you're checking out all the new stuff, be sure and still check out the old stuff. Because Amy's channel, you can see all of our last 2 years worth of videos. Starting into our 3rd year now. So, God, we're like veterans or something now.
I know.
So you can go back and check out all that. But she does have much more than just book content on the channel. Also, if that's still not enough, you can go over and check out her blog as well and read those articles, some of which kind of go along with the channel, some that don't. So you can get into everything with the Everyday Epic family. Everyday Adventure family.
Hey, either way.
Either way. We're all a big happy family.
Yeah. Most days.
None of that family drama crap.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's
gonna do it for this video. Also, let us know down in the comments if you're excited about any of these books. If there are any books you want us to read for future book club videos, or
any
just read in general. Yeah, we want to hear.
And maybe another reason to join, become a member, is maybe we will let you guys pick a book. One of our book club books. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. You people might suck. I don't know. I'm joking.
They're just going to pick books that they want us to, like, hate.
Yeah, now they'll really pick a book.
Yeah.
She said we suck.
Ha ha ha, I'm going to make you read Riley Sager.
I'm gonna veto. I have veto powers. I don't veto anything out of Riley Sager.
That's fair. But anyway.
Anyway, that's all.
Yep. Hope you enjoyed watching. I'm Amy.
And I'm Kelly.
And we are
the Everyday Epic.
See y'all the next one.
Bye.
Bye.